in 412 bouts. And 86. Oh, the big kibosh! It's good! Night freaking Irene!
What's up, you guys? Post Striking here. So, just gonna get right into it. I know what you're here for. First up, we'll start off. You can see Ariel Helwani this Sunday, one-on-one with the notorious MMA Conor McGregor. You know, ever since, maybe 2016, Ariel Helwani's always gone and hit us with the 1 hour interviews, you know, the 1 hour exclusives with Conor McGregor. There's always, no low balls, always hard-hitting questions. Usually coming off of controversy for Conor McGregor is usually when Ariel Helwani comes out with these interviews. So definitely going to give us the answers. Conor McGregor fans out there, you'll definitely want to tune into that one. Now over here, we see a sneak peek of the conversation to come. This is regarding Khabib stepping down or retiring from MMA.
Do you think he retired because he didn't want to fight you? Is that what you are essentially saying?
Yes, I would say so. Now, I think his hand was shown. He's not a true fighter, in my opinion. You know, how could you walk away? There's so many great fights to be had. You know what I mean? Like, think of the Diaz's, the Fergusons. You know, there's so many wild fights. The Oliveras. The rematch against me. I think it's just preposterous to walk away. I think he just. Not only did he on the bus, I think he on the chips also. I think he showed his hand. But then at the same time, you know, there is family issues and, you know, it is what it is. So, all the best.
I mean, this is just the soundbite generating Conor McGregor that he's known for, right? I mean, how do you come up with a quote like, not only did he shit on the bus, he pissed on the chips also. I think he showed his hand. Say that with a straight face. You know, during this interview, it's quite impressive, and it's the Conor that we all know and he is infamously known for. Now, of course, in the same breath, Conor does refer to Khabib's father's passing in regards to Khabib's reason for why he retired at this time. With that said, I think Conor does bring up a good point in that it is actually quite a strange time to retire from the UFC, considering the current state of the lightweight division. You have Tony Ferguson, the cursed fight that never happened between him and Khabib, who Tony has now since been knocked down to the 5th place ranking in the lightweight division. There's now 4 fighters above Tony Ferguson who would all be great matchups against Khabib. And overall, if you're going to talk about the greatest fighter of all time conversation, there have been arguments brought up, and rightfully so. It's hard to make a case for the greatest of all time when there are many fighters in the UFC who have claimed the title of double champ or champ in 2 or more divisions, which Khabib, unfortunately, at this time does not have. Truth be told, though, I am really just looking forward to more gems like these.
You must understand, my foot was a balloon when I walked into that fight. I've got all this.
No.
All right, and huge news coming from the UFC and USADA this Thursday, announcing that they are no longer handing out suspensions for THC detected in testing of athletes going forward. Now, obviously, this is a huge move for the UFC and MMA in general. Now, unfortunately, most bans are still handed out by athletic commissions who have rules of their own. Now, most notably, we have Nick Diaz, who received a 5-year ban from the Nevada State Athletic Commission for having marijuana in his system. More recently, we have Bevon Lewis, who received a 6-month ban for a failed marijuana test. Now, a player who has a lot of say in this fight is the main event, Elias Theodorou, a former UFC middleweight fighter, self-proclaimed first sanctioned cannabis athlete in professional sport committed to #FightTheStigma. Now, he has been approved, in fact, the first UFC or MMA athlete to be exempt from the no marijuana rule. He has taken to Twitter to give credit to the UFC for making these big changes. However, he does want to point out the fact that USADA cannabis changes do not work towards the final goal, which would ideally be to have federal recognition, or at least through the athletic commissions, to recognize cannabis as a medicine. Surely, though, as states begin to legalize cannabis, I'm sure that day is not too far away. Now, this week in One Championship on Friday, we have Aliverdi Ramazanov fighting against Kapitan Pechindi Academy in One FC. It's going to be a kickboxing world championship. Now, this main card is quite stacked, but the main event is what I'm most excited for. Now, I know One FC's popularity has been rising ever since Eddie Alvarez and Demetrius Johnson moved over, as well as big players such as Joe Rogan giving props to the production value and how great of the fights there are there. Of course, the thing that is seriously overlooked, even till this day, is the stand-up kickboxing and Muay Thai in 4-ounce MMA gloves. Just the pure aggression and the skill level, especially in the lighter weight divisions. Now, of course, this isn't a video talking about how great One FC is, but definitely it's something you guys should give it a watch if you guys are interested in stand-up MMA or stand-up Muay Thai and kickboxing. Now, the fight that is going to be on Friday between Ramazanov and Kapitan Pechindi Academy is not going to be in 4-ounce gloves, I don't believe, as it is the kickboxing championship, but it should be a exciting fight irregardless. Ramazanov is an absolute killer from Dagestan. This young fighter recently had a Muay Thai fight against Agan Topic, a fighter out of the US. If any one of you guys are a big fan of Muay Thai or train Muay Thai, no doubtably you know this guy is an absolute killer. Unfortunately, that night, Ramazanov made light work of Topic, stopping the fight with a 3 knockdown TKO. Now, I think it's just absolutely savage that these guys go from 4-ounce gloves to kickboxing gloves. One time, One FC even had a Lethway fight in there. It's just a good time. Now, this upcoming fight that he has against Kapitan is going to be quite exciting because Kapitan Pechindi is a Lumpini champion. If you don't know what that means in Thailand, Lumpini champion is quite literally the most competitive circuit that you can compete in, and he was signed to One FC last year. Now, Kapitan has an official kickboxing record of 143 wins and 40 losses with 1 draw. Now, I know that seems to sound like a lot, but the reason I say official record is because oftentimes Thai fighters fight at a young age, usually when they're minors, and in those cases, those fights might not even be recorded on official records. Now, this guy here in his One FC debut comes out with a 6-second one-punch knockout. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. A guy with a crazy record like that coming out with a debut like that. It's definitely going to be an exciting fight. I really recommend you guys tune in. It's going to be this Friday. I believe the time zones might be a little bit messed up because it is in Singapore. So if you're watching maybe in the States or in Canada, maybe Europe, might have to catch it on Saturday on YouTube. One FC always has their videos for free, full fights absolutely free on YouTube. So definitely, guys, check it out. You have nothing to lose. All right, and so the last item on the agenda, we've got the exhibition fight that happened today between Stephen Ward and Hafthor Bjornsson. Now, if you guys aren't aware, Hafthor Bjornsson, strongest man in the world, also known as the Mountain on Game of Thrones. He has an exhibition fight that occurred between him and Stephen Ward. Stephen Ward, who is a pro boxer, accepted this fight with a nearly 130-pound disadvantage in weight. With that said, it was only an exhibition fight, and it does appear that these two are just buddies. Now, one of the reasons that Thor wants to have this exhibition fight here is because he wants to get that ring experience when he has his fight against Eddie Hall, another strong man who has been beefing with Thor ever since Eddie called him out during a strongman competition accusing him of cheating. And as we all know, the only way we can decide if someone is right or wrong is through a celebrity boxing match. So this is what we got. Now, here's a little clip of the exhibition that we have coming out today.
The exhibition's over. Big Thor hits like a horse, but it was great. I hope everyone tunes in tomorrow to watch it, and it's quite exciting.
بيرقد عليه خلاص. تعب.
Yep, and I know what you guys are thinking. Not too terribly impressive, but quite honestly, I'm not sure what I expected from someone with, less than 4 or 5 months of honest training. Probably the only exciting part of this potential fight coming up against him and Eddie Hall is the fact that they are both elite athletes, strongest men in the world, training to punch each other's heads off, which is absolutely exciting for some. Now, here you see a video of Eddie Hall training. He's working his speed, working his accuracy. Now, a lot of his videos on YouTube seem to just be for show. However, it does look like he's working a lot on his form and technique. And for someone who's only been training a few months, this is pretty much what I would expect. Now, Thor often likes to call out Eddie for his quote-unquote fake sparring videos. And here in this video, he's demonstrating a real light sparring session. Now, if you guys have ever seen any amateurs fight, oftentimes the first few fights of an amateur will just be a huge adrenaline dump where they come out either swinging or they walk around very timid and scared to throw that first punch. With that said, the fight is scheduled for September of this year, so given about a year's worth of training, by September we might see 2 big heavyweight athletes coming out with a little more technique and maybe a little bit more action and entertainment. These guys are definitely very light-footed and pretty agile given their size. Here you have a fun little video of Thor wrestling or sparring with Conor McGregor. Overall, I don't think that celebrity boxing matches are that bad for the sport of boxing. It does get a lot of people interested in the sport, and a heavyweight fight will definitely be more interesting than whatever the hell this was.
Not convinced by the...
Oh my god.
I'm not convinced by Momo's sort of...
Right, okay. We didn't realise it'd be this kind of little taunt. Swinging wildly.
Energy looking high early on, but how long will it last?